Hello students, welcome to English class. Today I'm going to explain you lesson number 11 from your prime English. Name of the lesson is Astronomy Day. Students, before giving you the detailed summary of this chapter, firstly I would like to tell you something about the writer who has written this story. Anna Sewell, she was born in the year 1820 to 1878. She was born in Great Yarmouth, that is in Norfolk, England. Having suffered an injury at a young age of 14, she lost the ability to use her legs and had to depend on crutches. She depended mainly on horse-drawn carriages for outdoor movements, which contributed to her love for horses and concern about cruelty to animals. Yes, student, she's too much attached with animals, and though she mentioned in her novels and stories as well. She is well known for her novel Black Beauty, which is her only published work. Her ill health prevented her from exploring her literary talent to the fullest. Now, student, can you see the pictures? Here are some pictures that depict human interacting with animals. What do you understand about the bond shared between humans and animals as shown in these pictures? Do you think animals have the ability to understand and feel emotions like we do? Yes, student, it is very important to understand the emotion and feeling of animals. Can you see in the pictures? Now, keeping all these pictures in mind, let's begin and understand the chapter thoroughly. Now, let us read a story about the deep bond shared between a man and a horse and how the horse saves his master's life. One day, late in the autumn, my master had a long journey to go on business. Now, in the very first line, I hope you are understanding that the author is the horse only, and it is the autumn time, and he's saying that my master had a long journey to go on business, means he's going towards some business meeting. I was put into the dog cart and John went with his master. I always liked to go in the dog cart. It was so light and the high wheels ran along so pleasantly. Now he's saying that he loved to go on a dog cart and John went with his master. I always like to go in the dog cart. Now he's saying that I always like to go in the dog cart. Why? Because it is so light and high wheels ran along so pleasantly. There had been a great deal of rain. Now weather is not too good and there is a great deal of rain. And now the wind was very high and blew the dry leaves across the road in a shower. We went along merrily till we came to the tall bar and the low wooden bridge. Now what he's saying that they were traveling in a good speed till the time they came along to the tall bar and the low wooden bridge. The river banks were rather high because the weather is not good. The river bank was high and the bridge, instead of rising, went across just level so that in the middle, if the river was full, the water would be nearly up to the woodwork and planks. But as there were good substantial rails on each side, people did not mind it. Now the weather is not good and the river level is high, but still people didn't mind. Why? Because the substantial rails on each side is made up of in a good platform. Now, in this paragraph, I think we have understood that it is the autumn time and the horses is the speaker in the story, and he's telling that his master is going on a business, but the weather is not good, and he loved to visit through a dog cart. Now let's continue further. The man at the gate said the river was rising fast. Now there was a person who's standing beside the gate and is saying that please do not move further. The river was rising fast, and he feared it would be a bad night, and he is worried about that this night is not good. Many of the meadows were under water, and in one low part of the road, the water was halfway up to my knees. Now he's saying that were under water, and in one low part of the road was halfway to my knees, means the water is filled up to the knees. The bottom was good, and master drove gently, so it was no matter. Now they are moving further, and they didn't mind it. When we got to the town, of course, I had a good bait, but as the master's business engaged him a long time, we did not start for home till rather late in the afternoon. Now, what they are saying that they are moving with a good bait, but as the master business engaged him in a long time, he did not start for home till rather in the afternoon. The wind was then much higher, and I heard the master say to John that he had never been out in such a storm. Now he's telling that he's talking to John, and he said that he has never went out in such a storm. And so I thought as we went along the skirts of a wood where the great branches were swaying about like twigs and the rushing sound was terrible. Now, student, I hope you have understood that when the weather is, when the weather is not good, then the twigs, what is twig? Wood में जो टहनी होती है, that is what twig is, and rushing, and the sound was quite terrible, and they are little worried because they went out for some business purpose and they don't want any kind of mishappening to be happened during the journey. Now, I hope you have understood this question asked who is the speaker in the story. Yes, student, definitely horse only. Now, let's understand further and read in a detail that what happened next. I wish we were all out of this wood, said my master. Now he's saying that I wish we were out of this wood means we should move out from this wood safely. Yes, sir, said John. It would be rather awkward if one of these branches came down upon us. Now he's saying to John, who is riding the horse, he's saying that it is quite awkward. Student, awkward means causing strain, hard to handle. Now, as one of the branches came down upon us. The words were scarcely mean student barely, out of his mouth when there was a groan and a crack and a splitting sound and tearing crashing down among the other trees came an oak, torn up by the roots, and it fell right across the road just before us. Now, student, please notice that one old oak tree torn up by the root and it fell right across the road just before them. I will never say I was not frightened, for I was. I stopped still and I believe I trembled. Of course, I did not turn round or run away. I was not brought up to that. John jumped out and was in a moment at my head. Now immediately he stopped that cart and he stopped the cart in such a hard and rough way that he was immediately brought up and John jumped out and in a moment on his head. Now that was a very near touch, said my master. What's to be done now? Now he's saying, what's to be done? The weather is not good and the road is very crampy and weather is also very unpleasant. Well, so we can't drive over that tree nor yet get round it. There will be nothing for it but to go back to the four crossways. Now he's saying that, sir, there is no other option to go further. We have to go back to the four crossways, and that will be a good 6 miles before we get round to the wooden bridge again. It will make us late, but the horse is fresh. He said that it will 6 miles away, but it will take a late, but the horse is fresh. Now he's saying that he is fresh and we can take a long route. Now, student, why do you think the master and John decided to take the bridge? Yes, of course, because they know that the weather is not good and the road is very crampy and they have to go to the long distance rather than going further and met with any kind of accident. So let's see further what happened next. So back we went and round by the crossroads, but by the time we got to the bridge, it was very nearly dark. We could just see that the water was over the middle of it, but as that happened sometimes when the floods were out, Master did not stop. Now he said that let's not stop, and though the bridge during that time it was nearly dark and they could not see water was over the middle and it happened sometime when the floods were out, means flood is about to happen, but he did not stop. We were going along at a good pace, but the moment my feet touched the first part of the bridge, now who is saying this? this is speaker is horse. He's saying that when his feet touched the first part of the bridge, I felt sure there was something wrong. Animals are having sixth sense. They understand that some kind of if you have any pet in your home, like for example, if you are having dog as a pet animal in your home, you must have seen that they know about the danger more promptly as compared to you all. So in the same way, that horse, he is having a sixth sense, and he found that there is some kind of danger, and it should not it's not good to move further. Now I dare not go forward. He did go forward, and I made a deep stop. Go on, beauty, said my master. Now my master said, go on, beauty, and he gave me a touch with the whip. You know what is whip? There's a kind of a stick by which uh, a driver control animals. But I dare not stir. He gave me a sharp cut. I jumped, but I dare not go forward. Now, because he is knowing about the danger, so that is why he is not moving forward. There's something wrong, sir, said John. Now, John said to his master that there is something wrong. And he sprang out of the dog cart and came to my head and looked all about. He tried to lead me forward. Come on, beauty, what's the matter? Of course, I could not tell him, but I knew very well that the bridge was not safe. Now, he knew the matter, but he could not speak because animals cannot speak. You have to understand the emotion and feeling of the animals. So, this is what horse is expecting from his master. Just then, the man at the toll gate on the other side ran out of the house, tossing a torch about like one mad. Now, there's one person who is carrying a kind of tossing torch, hanging torch, and he came to near us. Ho, 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 hello, stop, he cried. He said, stop, stop, stop. What's the matter? Shouted my master. The bridge is broken in the middle and part of it is carried away. If you come on, you'll be into the river. Now he said that bridge is broken. If you come near, then you will fall into the river. Thank God, said my master. You beauty, said John, and took the bridle and gently turned me round to the right hand road by the riverside. Now, student, bridle means gear placed on the head of a horse to which reins are attached, used to control the horse. Now, he simply said that you have saved us. The sun had set some time. The wind seems to have lulled off after that furious blast which tore up the tear. Now, lulled, student, means become less intense. It grew darker and darker, stiller and stiller. I trotted quietly along, the wheels hardly making a sound on the soft road. For a good while, neither master nor John spoke. Now, they didn't spoke a single word, and they are very thankful towards horse, and they said that just because of him we are safe. And then master began in a serious voice. I could not understand much of what they said, but I found they thought if I had gone on as the master wanted me, most likely the bridge would have given way under us and horse. Now he's talking, he's talking among him in a low voice and in a very serious tone that God knows what would happen if we go further. Chaise, master. Now, student, chaise means a carriage drawn by a horse that has an open top and two wheels. And man would have fallen into the river, and as the current was flowing very strongly, and there was no light and no help at hand, it was more than likely we should all have been drowned. Means now they are saying that there was no light and there was no help. It was more likely that they have been drowned. Master said, God have given men reason by which they could find out things for themselves. Now he's saying that God has given men a reason for themselves, but he had given animals knowledge which did not depend on reason. Now he is appreciating to animals and he is saying that animals, God had given them knowledge which that does not depend on any kind of reason, and which was much more prompt and perfect in its way, and by which they had often saved the lives of men. Now because he has saved the life, so he is appreciating to horse and is saying that God has made animals in a different way, and they have a good knowledge as compared to the men. John had many stories to tell of dogs and horses and the wonderful things they had done. He thought people did not value their animals half enough nor make friends of them as they ought to do. I am sure he makes friends of them if ever a man did. Now he's saying that men should always consider animal as a friend and should always value them, And at last we came to the park gates and found the gardener looking out for us. Now there is a gardener who's looking for them. He said that mistress had been in a dreadful way ever since dark, fearing some accident had happened, and that she had sent James off on justice. Now he said that Gardner said that mistress has went to, as soon as she heard about the accident, she asked James to search for you all. The road cop towards the wooden bridge to make enquiry after us. We saw a light at the hall door and at the upper windows. Now they saw a light, there's a light in hall door and the upper windows. And as we came up, mistress ran out saying, "Are you really safe, my dear?" "Oh, I have been so anxious, fancying all sorts of things. Have you had no accident?" Now she's worried and she asked that, "Have you had no accident?" "No, my dear, but if your black beauty had not been wiser than we were, we should all have been carried down the river at the wooden bridge." Now he's saying that no, we didn't met with any kind of accident because of the black beauty, because of his wiser decision. We all are over here. I heard no more as they went into the house, and John took me to the stable. Now John took him to the stable. "Who? A horse? Oh, what a good supper he gave me that night." Now he has given a very good supper to them at night, to him at that night. "A good bran mash and some crushed beans with my oats, and such a thick bed of straw, and I was glad of it, for I was tired." Now because he was tired, he got a good supper. Now the story end. Now student, I hope you have understood the theme of the story, that we should always loving and emotional towards animals, because animal can help us in out of the way which we cannot ever imagine also. So in this way, Anna Sewell has given us a message also, that we should be loving, devoted, and loyal towards animals, because animal only teach us to be how to be loyal towards their master. So I hope you have understood with the chapter. I have given you the question answers also through PDF. So please keep on watching my videos, and if you are having any doubt, you are free to ask me during online classes. Thank you and have a good day.